ain't me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milam. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Northern Eagle Distributing, proudly serving Anheuser-Busch products to West Virginia. The WolfMan's Call Network welcomes Calacino's Pizzeria and Sports Bar from Beckley, West Virginia. The Pitch Sports Bar and Grille, Dunbar, West Virginia. And Danny's Bar from Princeton, West Virginia. Only at these fine establishments can you enjoy the Wolfman's Call. Join today. And hello and welcome on this fine and terrific, and I say terrific Tuesday. Yeah, we're getting ready here. We're going to have a really special guest. Good things going on. I just got to tell you, I'm really enjoying the show right now and everything that everybody's given us this opportunity. And, you know, there's so much going on. Football's about ready to be here. I just want to tell you, I appreciate that. Wolfman's Call Network, the fine establishments that are signing up. I absolutely, it's just thrilled to have it. And, you know, the people are so cool. So I just want to say a big shout out to everybody there. Thank you so much. And before we go ahead, we get to the main guest today, which we have a couple main guests today. And that is Mark Rogers for the Voice of College Football. I just want to go ahead and get this up and show you before we could get into it with Mark, because this is really cool. You know, I want you to subscribe to YouTube, West Virginia Football, the Voice of College Football. And Mark's going to come out. He's going to tell us all about it. And why? Because the Wolfman's Call rocks. I mean, we're just doing it, man. We're having fun. We're bringing on all these great guests. And obviously today was Darren Studstill and Mark Rogers. Man, it just keeps growing and growing. And the guys that we get, the ACC guys, the SEC, Pac-12. You know, it's all from the Voice of College Football Network. And without further ado, I want to bring Mark on because this is the guy. This is the head man. He's the Voice of College Football. He is the network, the Voice of College Football Network. And let's just introduce him. Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
Wolfman. I finally made it.
Yeah, you did, man. But it's all right. I was stalling. I'm good. I'm good for that. I don't know. Maybe people can tell. I don't know. You know, it was funny because I made a comment this weekend on my social media, and I was like, hey, warning. Danger Will Rogers. It was Danger Will Robinson. But I was thinking of Rogers and the Voice of College Football. And I got so confused. So they pointed it out and I had to own it. So I own it. And I said Will Rogers and not Will Robinson.
I'm a Lost in Space fan, Wolfman. So I feel honored that you got me mixed up with Will Robinson.
Well, you're a little bit older than he was, but anyways, I don't know. Actually, maybe not now. So, regardless, but hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. And let's see, we're going to be playing some college football. A few teams out there a week from Saturday, and then everybody gets revved up the next weekend, obviously.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So when we're talking about this now, I really want to get into the voice of college football. Now, I'm on your West Virginia channel, okay? And of course, you have other shows on Friday night at 8 o'clock. It just lets you talk about it. But there's so much more to the whole network than just the one channel, including the main channel that you have. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got a national channel. We got 41,000 subscribers there. That was the one that launched everything. And we try to keep all the national topics to that main channel, a lot of college football playoff talk, realignment talk, all of that business, unless if it impacts a particular team, then we try to keep those fans happy with those specific team topics. Our main motto is best discussion, debate, and analysis. That's what we try to drive home. We try to bring on the best guests possible. If you can't put up with me and my analysis, we'll find somebody for you. We'll be bringing on all sorts of good people and good guests, beat writers from all over the place, former players like yourself. And so we've got an SEC channel we just launched about a week ago, and a Big 12 channel that we just launched a week ago. And just to run them down real quick, we got Ohio State, Michigan, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, West Virginia. We've got USC and Oregon. We've got Clemson, Virginia Tech, Florida State, Miami, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
I think that's the whole rundown.
Is that the whole rundown? I think they would have 23, 24 channels. Besides, not including the national one, which you cover everything. But how did you get started in this, man? Because you got an interesting history.
Yeah, so I wanted to be a sportscaster. I went to Kent State, studied broadcast journalism there, and actually got a news job coming out of college, something I wanted to stay far, far away from, but it was a good break and a good opportunity. So I did news for 3 years. First week on the job, I'm covering a murder trial. So yeah, it was a good experience, but certainly wanted to get back into sports. So I did play-by-play there as well. My first job in Ashland, Ohio. And then I went to Mississippi. I was a sports director at a CBS station. That was my second job there for 7 years, covering the SEC. So that was a good time because we were only about 45 minutes to an hour from the University of Alabama. Ole Miss, Mississippi State were in our backyard too. So I was just loaded with SEC football and SEC athletics. Great exposure, great experience getting to cover bowl games and national championship games, NCAA tournaments, College World Series, the whole deal, Final Fours. I was there for 7 years. Then I went to ESPN, and I was there for 19 years as a production operations manager in Connecticut. And so production operations, basically just anything that you can think of regarding what you see on air, we were in charge of. So all the studio shows, all the game remotes, everything. And I was there for 19 years and great experience, and decided to go full-time with this near the end of 2020. So we've revved this up ever since.
Was that COVID time?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So 2020. Now, recently you were just voted, your network was the best coverage on YouTube of college football. I mean, over ESPN, your old employer. I mean, that's pretty big stuff coming for just a couple of years, and 23 channels, whatever your channels it is. How did you start just multiplying channels?
Well, I think that college football fans are more regionally based, and one of the reasons why this realignment may not ultimately work as well as some people think it does at a network TV level. But West Virginia fans are unlike any other fans on the map. There's just a unique quality to West Virginia football. There's a unique quality to Alabama football, Ohio State football, the Big Ten versus the SEC. There's a regional feel to it. People talk different. They listen to different music. They eat different food in different parts of the country, and people take pride in that. So we wanted to basically present a product where you didn't have to weed through everything to get to the Miami football talk. you could just lock it in there and know that everything that was coming your way was going to be Miami or West Virginia or Michigan or whoever you rooted for. And we just felt as though we could serve those fan bases a little bit better if they knew they could count on us just to deliver that one team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But with me and this new show, you were gracious enough to allow me to come on to the West Virginia channel, even though we're on the Twitter and Facebook, regardless. But it's really cool. I actually enjoy it, and there's certain special things about it that are really neat. And with that being said, though, it's nice to be part of the network because as the past couple of weeks, I've been able to bring in, a Tony Altimore from the Pac-12 area of covering that, or, Twisted Rooster. I mean, some great names who's been on the last few weeks and will continue on. And even, I'm not going to say anything about Pitt. Talk is Pitt. I'm not going to go there. We're going to back off on that a little bit. And of course, your own there, John Diadamo, who hosts the Ocho on Monday night for about the Big Ten, and Michigan, which you guys do as well. Obviously, you said you went to Kent State, so you come up in Big Ten country, but you just said you were there covering SEC. And, how did you come about there to understand about West Virginia? Because that's not everybody understands West Virginia.
Yeah, well, I for one thing, I don't know the way I was wired when I was a little kid. We were having this conversation a few nights ago on one of the shows where, when I was 8 years old, I was pretty conscious of who was who in college football and what conferences meant what to what areas and what the connection was. And obviously back then, there was a huge block of independents, and West Virginia was one of those main independents in the Eastern Bloc. And I grew up in Ohio, so I was only a state away, and had family in West Virginia as well. And so, yeah, from the time I was 8, 9 years old, I was very aware of West Virginia football and what the backyard brawl meant. And of course, they had a series at that time with Penn State that was every year, and Syracuse and Maryland. You saw all those teams playing each other every year. And I miss those days. I got to say, I miss all the rivalries that I just mentioned and more that were part of that Eastern football block of independence that I think we've lost quite a bit. West Virginia, obviously, in this Big 12 that's become a national conglomerate at this point.
I call it big country, Mark.
Yeah, it's big country. There you go.
Big country.
You nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know how else to do it. When I think about it, and, if you look at the Big 12, SEC, Big 10, I mean, the Big 10 just got a ridiculous money deal. I mean, SEC's top money, top teams, right? So that the Big 12 cannot compete with either one, money-wise, football straight up. But with the basketball in there being a top powerhouse in basketball, could the Big 12 maintain its relationship instead of just the Big 2 conferences? Because you have basketball to help with that. And I think Yormak's pretty smart, the commissioner of the Big 12. And I think with that, could that help the Big 12 in staying with the two bigs?
Well, I think there's only a couple major players possibly left on the board, and they're going to come out of the ACC, and we'll see what happens in the next just few months and few years, all the way up to 2036 in this grant of rights situation. Florida State, apparently they had until August 15th, and everybody else did as well, but Florida State's been the most vocal, had until August 15th to let the ACC know what their intent was, at least for the next year here. So it appears as though Florida State's going to keep their fight going, but they're going to be committed to the ACC for another season. But as it pertains to the Big 12, I really believe, we just saw it play out with the Pac-12 now down to 4. The conference is no longer going to exist. And the Big 12 was in a similar situation. Actually, in some ways, the Big 12 was in a more vulnerable and precarious situation a couple summers ago than the Pac-12 was recently. That sounds a bit ridiculous. I'm not going to explain it right now. But the Big 12 did exactly what it needed to do. It lost its two major football powers. So 20% of the league's gone like that, but really more like 50% of the league's revenue, resources, facilities, brand, all of that. And they needed to act because at that point, if you lose anybody else, then it crumbles because everybody runs scared. I know everybody talked a good game. They talked about solidarity, and I think they genuinely believed that and wanted to save the conference. But you know, as well as I do, if the Big Ten or the SEC would have come calling then and picked apart another team or two, another school or two, then everybody else would have scattered and the league would have collapsed. So I posted a video not many days after Oklahoma and Texas announced to the SEC and said, here are the four programs you need to go get, Big 12: Houston, BYU, Cincinnati, and UCF. Now, of course, they didn't listen to me, but it just so happened.
I don't know. It sounds like they did. Kind of close.
Those were the four best candidates out there out of the group of five that I felt that would solidify the league. They've got all four of them for different reasons, especially UCF, I think are just have great futures. And they're the very pillar of what the group of five has been outside of Boise State for the past 10 years or so. So the Big 12 made the move that it needed to make. Now, are those four schools going to bring it to a level of the SEC or the Big Ten? No. Those schools aren't out there. They're not available. Now, again, Florida State, Clemson, Miami, we'll see what happens there. But I think the Big 12 did everything it absolutely could at that point. The Pac-12, we now learn, within the last couple of years, they were turning down possibilities of getting schools from the Big 12. And then just a couple summers later, the script is flipped, and Brett Yormark, to his credit, and I think in a number of different ways, this is a good approach. Number one, you brought up the basketball. You've got the best basketball conference. It's going to be a large leap to ever have the best football conference. Probably not going to get there. I can almost assuredly guarantee never going to get there, but can be a strong number three. But why not be the best basketball conference in America? You're already that. You can solidify that by grabbing the likes of Arizona, and who knows if they'll go out and get UConn and Gonzaga. So even though I'm not a basketball guy, I used to cover basketball, but not a basketball guy currently, I think that was the move to make. And you're just grabbing up territory. Basically, in addition to solidifying the basketball number one ranking as a conference, they're grabbing up territory and they're maintaining relevance by sheer volume. And I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, no, I think it was a masterful move to get those basketball programs in there, because with the two of them, I think it can help keep you there, other than just relying on football. I really do think that was a masterpiece. Okay, so enough of conference realignment. We all understand all that. And what I really want to get into then is talking about West Virginia. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that with, when you think of this Penn State game, Big Ten, Penn State, is it Penn State's year, number one? I mean, you know the Big Ten. Is it their year?
I tend to think not. They're really good. Don't get me wrong there. They are extremely good. That's a great call right there. I believe that Penn State over the past few seasons in the Big Ten has fielded the most talented athletic defense in the conference. Not always performed the best. Michigan has at times, Iowa does at times, but it's been the most athletic. Look at the NFL draft. They have just pounded the NFL draft on the defensive side of the ball, and they continue to recruit out of their minds. It's a great program, and this showdown with Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State playing each other is going to be at the heart of the college football playoff and what's going to decide a spot or two. We saw Ohio State and Michigan both make it last year out of that division. I would not be surprised if 2 teams make it from that division again. Drew Aller, he's out of Medina, Ohio, only about a half hour away from me. And he's a heck of a thrower. Now, being a quarterback, as you know better than I do, it's more than just, hey, how well can you spin it? Is he going to be a leader? Is he going to take command? Is he going to be poised in the pocket? Is he going to make the right decisions? I thought they did a really good job last year of giving him just enough action during meaningful games, meaningful snaps against good opponents to give him a taste of what it's going to be like. And he stepped up to the challenge and he performed pretty well. They've got 2 backs in the backfield that they're coming off freshman seasons that should continue to improve. Nick Singleton was a 5-star, arguably the number 1 rated running back in the country coming out of high school. And Katron Allen was less touted, but showed that he's a great complement between the tackles. It's a loaded football team. But when you ask about them taking down Ohio State and Michigan, you're talking about taking down 2 of the top 4 teams in the country. So they're going to be quite the battles. They usually play Ohio State extremely close, but always find a way to lose that game. It'll be interesting to see if they can man up against Michigan. Wolfman, you'll appreciate this because I don't know if Michigan, the performance they put on against Penn State in rushing for like 420 yards in that game, I don't know that I've ever seen a top 10 defense get bludgeoned and pushed around and manhandled. So we'll see if Penn State's, their manhood has been challenged, and whether they're going to come back this year and play a tougher game against Michigan because they just got beat up. And that's a team they're obviously going to have to take down this year.
Let me just tell you this, Mark. In my opinion, okay, it was a thing of beauty. All right, the Michigan's offensive line and offense, we'll include the offense because the wide receivers are just as important for downfield blocking as the initial offensive line. But that offense and those tight ends and what they did to Penn State, they forced their will on them until Penn State said no more. No more. They're like, no, we're done. All right, listen, go ahead. Here's the rock. Go ahead. How do you put 400 yards on a Penn State defense? And really, as you said, it's been putting players in the NFL. The recruiting's outstanding. So if they are challenged their manhood, then when will it be? When could it be? When you're sitting there talking about with Coach Franklin saying, hey, you know what? We better be ready for this because they embarrassed you. I think that's all about it. And when we talk about that embarrassment, and again, with this Penn State team and what's going on in a couple of weeks here at WVU, I look at it and I have to go ahead. I got to pull this up and I want to get your opinion on it and see what you're thinking about this because I put this up yesterday on the show and, there it is. McAfee, man, and Herb Street. I'm pretty sure you know those guys, and those are the 2 biggest names on College Game Day, and they're making fun of WVU. I mean, but McAfee's an alma mater. Now, you can say it's all lighthearted, it's all this and that, but when you do this, we used to be a prideful program, as you said, in the independents at our time, and last time we beat Penn State was 1988 when I played, and it meant a lot to us. So what is your take on this? Is this just a joke with Pat? Is this locker room material for Penn State? And then, poor Garrett Greene, McAfee saying he's going to run all over Penn State. I mean, the poor kid, he's just trying to get a starting job right now. And McAfee's saying he's going to run through Happy Valley, What's your take, Mark?
Well, I know that that tweet would not have worked in reverse, meaning Herb Street would have never sent that. That's a McAfee thing, of course.
Sure.
And Herb Street's just kind of riding on his coattails and just going along with the joke there. I got to tell you that I think West Virginia's path to success and staying in this game is everything that we were just talking about with Michigan, with C.J. Donaldson and with 3 all conference level offensive linemen, as good as West Virginia's offensive line could be this year, with some of the best players in the Big 12 up front. I think that they want to limit the snaps, limit the time, possess the ball. That doesn't mean you play scared or you play too conservative. You take your shots. You know, you don't run every first and second down until it's 3rd and 12. But I think they need to lean on that offensive line, lean on that ground game. Donaldson, shove it down Penn State's throat, and, you know, prove that they can be stopped before they give up on the run.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Now, the interesting thing about this game to me is you have, and you said it, Alar got enough reps last year for him to feel comfortable coming into the game. And maybe Garrett Greene if he goes first, or Nicco only had half of a game against Oklahoma State, which he did, had come out with a victory on that. But regardless, I know what it's like to go into Happy Valley. And it is so hard to come over the distractions of that 107,000 people in there. It's just more than that. It's the student section in the end zone, and you can't hear anything. There's just a ton of distractions. And then you add what you said is you thought maybe a top 5 defense that's really fast, because when you're trying to overcome all these obstacles, you got to keep your head above the game, and it makes it so much more difficult. How much does an offensive line or an offense that can run the ball help a young quarterback? And I'm talking both ways now, because Alar as well.
Yeah, it's everything. And again, I definitely think that it's the path for West Virginia to stay in this game. Now, I'm not predicting any kind of monumental upset here, but I think they can stay in the game. And we talked about how successful Michigan was. Ohio State was too, running the ball against Penn State. So they do. The defensive front for Penn State's good, but it's not their strong suit. It's not a Georgia, Michigan, Clemson level defensive front, and I think that that's where West Virginia can stay in this game and man up front. And West Virginia, as we talked about, that they have some of the best offensive linemen in the Big 12.
They do. In some cases, though, I have to. I'm not sure the offensive line is 5'5", 5'5", solidified. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and point out anyone, but I will say this: if they can go ahead and move those chains on first down, not for move the chains, excuse me, if they can get 4 or 5 yards on a running play and first down and make it easier, whatever quarterback is in the game, to be able to maneuver and make it a 3rd and short. If you can get that and have success at that first down, I think first down is what it's really all about for WVU to be successful. And obviously, you're going to have to go ahead and mix it up. You can't run all the time, but I think it's vital. You know, but on the flip side, though, Mark, is what's really dangerous is, you know, they have 315-pound offensive linemen themselves, and I think their left tackle, I can't pronounce his last name, but I think he's very, very special. And just like Wyatt Milum is too. Okay, so I mean, it really is fairly equal, but they got some tight ends in there that really help those 2 All-American running backs. But they were freshmen last year, and they had, you know, one had a little bit over 1,000, the other one had over 900 yards. I mean, that's almost unheard of in a backfield when you already lost your number 1 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's a challenge. There's no doubt about it. It is a challenge on the road at Penn State. They're loaded. They know that this is their season to take their shot. They know that a lot of people are counting on them to make a run for the Big Ten title. They're coming off a Rose Bowl win. They had a really good team last year. They've lost some pieces on defense, lost a couple NFL draft selections on defense, but really lost a little on offense. Their number 1 receiver, Parker Washington, did move on. But yeah, this Penn State, it's for real. And if West Virginia can hang in this game, it's going to bode well for, you know, down the road. And I know that this is a make or break season, most likely for Neil Brown. And looking at the 2 of the first 3 opponents is not an easy deal for them. And I know that we talked to Neil Brown. I had an interview with him a couple months ago, and he actually brought up the schedule. And going forward, if he's still around, he's not going to be wanting more than one Power 5 opponent non-conference. So he's not one that enjoys, while the fans enjoy playing Penn State and Pitt and seeing both of those teams on the schedule, he's not a huge fan of it himself.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? I wouldn't be either. I'd be like, "Hey, Shane Lyons, thanks a lot." You know, you also what else do? You scheduled Alabama down the road. You know, let's just make things a little bit harder for us. You know, any coach would be like, "I'm not sure I appreciate that." And regardless of that, let's just real quick hits before I let you go here. Let's just talk about C.J. Donaldson. How good is he in your opinion?
I think he's arguably the best back in the Big 12. I think he's extremely good. Absolutely.
I mean, I think he's up to 240 pounds now. I had him on my show a couple months ago. This is back when we did one for Country Roads Trust, the show, and he was there. He was jacked. I mean, when I'd say yoked, I'm used to yoked dudes, you know, being around him. It was like thick, man, and you know, and the way he runs, if he could use that weight, if that weight doesn't hurt him, oh, he could be really something special. But then you go ahead and you got to think about Justin Jump Cut Johnson, who's very, very excellent the way he runs. And then you know, last game against Oklahoma State, Jalen Anderson had like 150 yards or 135, whatever it was. And you know, you got this Shaheem White, that's a freshman. Probably is going to have to be worked into the slot situation because he has those ball skills. So again, as you have a nice nucleus there, and with an offensive line, the problem is, again, that offensive line is if the depth is a problem for WVU on both sides of the ball, and that really is. But we're talking first game here, so hopefully first game, you know, you don't have to worry too much about depth, except for maybe something catastrophic. How do we go ahead and finish off? How do we beat and how do you stop Drew Allar and that Penn State offense with West Virginia's defense that's coming off of probably a very difficult season?
Well, I think that one of the issues that you see at times that defensive coordinators, especially if they have any NFL experience, throw too much at these student athletes at times and they confuse themselves. So I can't speak to, you know, how intricate they should get, but if they believe that their secondary's up to the challenge of being able to throw different coverages at Drew Allar, then I think that's certainly one way you do that is you throw a ton of coverages at him, you disguise some things, you fool him. In that respect, of course, a pass rush is always the nemesis of any quarterback. It doesn't matter how good he is. Tom Brady's not going to beat West Virginia if he's laying on his back all night. But then you run into the risk reward of bringing the house, bringing a defender off the edge, bringing a safety, doing those sorts of things. If you're going to do that, if you're going to blitz, I would just certainly bring it in from different directions, you know, mix up the coverages and bring in the blitz from different directions to try to confuse a young quarterback who, again, you know, I pointed to him getting his feet wet last year, but he never threw more than 4, 5, 6 passes against anyone. So
50 balls. Yeah, 50 balls.
Yeah, having the entire game plan on his shoulders is going to be a first for him as well. So I know that the home field advantage is a heavy plus on Penn State's side, but for a young quarterback, there might be some pressure that he's going to feel performing in Happy Valley as the starting quarterback for the first time.
Yep, no doubt about it. Well, hopefully WVU's quarterback, whoever it may be, can just wash that right off his back, not worry about it, because you know what? He doesn't know anyone there. That's how you got to think about it. I used to think about it that way, man. I don't know anyone here. Let's go out and just play football. All right, Mark Rogers, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you coming on, talking about these issues here, giving your insight. Again, voice of college football. How do you go ahead and subscribe for that new SEC channel?
Yeah. what I'll do is I'm going to go grab that link and I'll put it in the description section of this live stream is what we'll do. But if you look up in the search engine on YouTube, just Voice of College Football SEC, you're going to find it. But I'll make it easier on everyone, and they can find it right in the description section of the video right here.
All right, excellent. Well, here you go. Listen, Joey Foster said, mark that helmet on your desk. Now, that's my helmet. I'm not sending him that. And plus, he doesn't want my helmet because it still stinks from the days of wearing it. All right. Listen, Mark Rogers, thank you so much. And we will see you and be in touch and hopefully have you on a lot more during the season.
Thanks, Dale. Good to see you, man.
All right, brother. Take care now. We'll see you. All right, stud. I see you there waiting there backstage, man. And yeah, you give me the thumbs up. We're going to do one thing. We're going to take a break here with Abby Pearson, gymnast for WVU. Get that NIL going here. And here's Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar rewards card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Abby, and Par-Mar stores for name, image, and likeness taking care of it. And I have a really special guest about ready to come on. But I did some preparation, stud. I know you can see it backstage there, so here you go, brother.
Forced a BC fumble recovered by Mike Logan. Studstill was 63 yards away from victory. 4 plays later, the Gold and Blue were 24 yards away with just over a minute to play. Mountaineer fans will never, ever forget this next play. Studstill firing for the end zone. And a catch to the end zone. Touchdown, West Virginia, as the ball is pulled in by Ed Hill. Tightly covered. Hill gave the defensive guy a little push. He pulls it in, and the Mountaineers take a 15-14 lead. Holy smokes.
Man, holy smokes is right. Everybody, please welcome our guy, man, Darren Studstill. D-Stud, 1993, his quarterback for the Mountaineers, along with Jay Coucher, successful splitting time, and 11-0 for only the second time ever in WVU football history. Stud, how you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing, Wolf? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Thank you very much. And thank you for coming on the WolfMan's call. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling great. Thank you for the opportunity. I hope I can be back real soon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, listen, hey, what's going on with you now? You're down in Miami, right?
I'm in West Palm Beach. You know, we're all the same down here. You know, back in the day we say we all from Florida, but I'm in West Palm Beach. It's super hot down here, and we're just having a great time down here. Well,
Yeah, no, that's why you stay in great shape and you look so good, man, because you're living a good life and doing well. When Roger Dixon looks good, anyone can look good down there in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Hey, talk about that. Before we get into this quarterback thing, and let's talk about the Florida connection to WVU and the history that we had. Obviously, back in our day, you know, it was a lot of Coach Neal, Doc Holliday down there recruiting. And just give us a little bit of history of that, Stud.
Well, it's, you know, like you said, back in the day, we had a very large number of guys from Florida. Doc Holliday recruited this area, and we just had a comradeship down in Florida. You know, being in the car, riding up 16 hours, you know, back and forth to West Virginia. We just had a great time, and we just, you know, the Mountaineer family welcomed us, and we just kind of blend together. And at the same time, we hope we brought a little, you know, South Florida edge back in the day. You know, but it was great. You know, that's one thing that I hope, as me personally, hope that we can get back is getting that Florida connection like we did before. But at the end of the day, we was all Mountaineers and we all bleed blue and gold.
There's no doubt when I talk or think about that, and that's why I asked you the question. Is trying to get that back, that whole Florida connection, because now it's even more difficult though, because you got UCF just got at it. You got all these big schools, and everybody recruits Florida. Probably the number one Division I football school, if not one, it's two or three, whatever. California, Texas, the only one it competes with. And when you think about everybody that comes in there and to get them up and pull them up out of West Virginia, man, it takes a special connection. Now, Jaywan Sutter used to do that as well after Doc Holliday when Doc was there. So Jaywan did that. Now he's at Penn State. So we really don't have that guy to go ahead and pull someone out of there from Florida, at least Southern Florida for sure.
Right. Like you said there, and I think as it continues, it's important that what you do, Wolf, is so important. How you engage the guys who played there, that we're down here. We got to become that, West Virginia agent, I want to call it. And you keep us connected, and so that's why we appreciate you. But we got to get that back, and I think we got to get that back sooner than later. That's my just personal opinion. Down here in Florida, and we're a hotbed of football down here. We play football all year round. So we just got to do what you're doing. We got to focus on the alumni down here in Florida and keep plugged in, because it's that WVU was one of my best experiences of my life. I'm happy I went there. Happy I met guys like you and all these guys down in Florida. We're lifers. We're lifer WVU fans, but we got to get plugged in again. And it take people like you mentioned, Doc Holliday, the J1 Siders, and those people to be stationed down here and be down here in this hotbed of football down here in South Florida. So I hope I ain't rambled too much.
Hey, you can ramble all you want, brother. You heard that right too. That's number one. Hey, number two is you played against Penn State, did you not, at Happy Valley?
Yeah, I played against them early. It was one of the greatest and worst experience of my life. Going into Penn State, I think I was a redshirt freshman. And I think Greg got hurt. You remember we called him Greg Jones, got hurt. And I went into Happy Valley in 100,000, and I was just like, I played in many. We played, in 60,000 stadiums. But when you go into Penn State and you come out that huddle and you see all that white, it chilled my whole body. And I think one time, John Jones, we joke about that. One time it was a quarterback key that I had, but I pitched the ball and I wasn't supposed to pitch it. And so I pitched it out to him just because I was so terrified of that roar and stuff like that. But after Coach Nealon got into my helmet, after that I was fine. We still lost the game, but I'll never forget that experience.
No, especially when you're youngin' too, man. Yeah. It's amazing because that's what I've been trying to tell Mountaineer Nation and even the players now, the young bloods, man. It's like, listen, you have to come in, just like you just said, that there are some things that distracted you. There's a whole lot of distractions, especially when there's 107,000 screaming. You might have 8 to 10, whatever, West Virginians, but there's 100,000 Penn Staters in there. And it's a night game. This is their year that's supposed to be very good this year. Not the Big Ten champs, right at the very top. So when you look at that, I keep trying to say is they have to be able to overcome the obstacles, not being able to hear in the student section when you're yelling right next to the person next to you, going on a quiet count. There's, again, just things like that. And just looking around you. Did you ever just, what do you do? I mean, here you are, what is it, 30 years now? Ago, and sorry, I don't mean to bring up your age, but we all know when you played. You still remember that like it was recent.
Like it was yesterday. There's nothing like it. You see it on TV. I saw it on TV all my life. Then once you get in there, I think I was 18, 19 years old, and you going in the stadium, and it's from the time you reach Happy Valley to the time you get on the field. But I'm happy that experience happened to me early. That helped me, the next 4 years of my career in West Virginia. But just to your point, one thing that you have to do there is that you really have to trust each other. It's all about trust, and that's what we have to do. We didn't win the game, we lost, but we we really came together after that game because we went through that adversity. It's nothing like it. You can't even coach it. You know how Wolf back in the day, they used to put speakers on the field, try to assimilate it. It was nothing like that, you know.
You know, I got to tell you the truth, but I sometimes had nightmares of the every time they got a first down, I wanted to kill somebody. You know? Yeah. And I'm just like, but regardless, okay. So I wanted people in Mountaineer Nation to understand. I try to give a different perspective from all my Mountaineer brothers that have gone through that experience. You don't know the experience until you've been through it, and hopefully these Mountaineers will go ahead and benefit. And the thing is this, is that I hope they win. I'm not calling for an upset, but what you just said is you got to trust in each other, and it can bring you tighter together. It can either bring you tighter together, or it can destroy you right off the bat.
Absolutely.
You know? All right. So let's get into it now, all right? So we're going to talk about this, and I brought you a list, man. You went 11-0 with Jay Coucher, splitting time 50-50. You know, what was the secret of that? And, you know, let's just start off with the secret of how you went ahead and started to go and accept the fact you're going to be in one series and not the next.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think the blessing of that, and that's why I try to treat that whole experience like I do my life. I think that experience with Jake and I is like we both was like consider ourselves as the quarterback. It wasn't like we was one or two. We was the quarterback. We rooted for each other. We bonded with each other, and when we had the opportunity, we tried to excel. I had a different skill set than Jake. Jake had a different skill set than Stud, but at the same time, we had the ultimate goal together, and that was to win every game, to do something that we can go down in history is to win. I didn't care if I started or if I came in or whatever. I just wanted to contribute and do the best I can. And we felt after the year before we went 11-0 that we had something special. Mm-hmm. So, you know, as being the captains of the ship, like the quarterbacks are, we didn't want to derail that, you know what I mean, by people saying, oh, you should play Stud, you should play Jake. We was in it for each other, and I think that was the spirit of the team. And so, you know, I'm thankful to this day for that experience. But I think both of these guys, I don't know them, I haven't been following like I should, but I think both of these guys got to understand when they get the opportunity, you got to do the best you can and not think about nothing else, but focus on your opportunity to run the ship. So, you know, I didn't get caught up in it if I was 1, 2, and 3. And, you know, being a West Virginia D1 quarterback, you always going to have a room of 10 quarterbacks, because you only have one position to play quarterback. So you're just used to that. When your number is called, you got to be ready. And so I think Jake and I had a great time experiencing that.
Yeah, you sure did. I mean, I was coaching then with the team as well as a graduate assistant coach at that time. So it was really cool because I got to see, I knew you as a player, and then I got to see from a coaching point of view and the success. I just want to tell everybody, that play against Boston College and that drive, and you actually played most of that game of Boston College, but that was, we were losing. We were going to, Perkins had a fumble or caused a fumble, and they were driving down, and we were going to go to the I think it was a Blockbuster Bowl or something like that, or to the Sugar Bowl. And Perkins got that fumble, and you came back. That drive, that was one of the best drives of all time when you consider the beauty of where we went there, and finished 11-0 for only the second time in the 130 now year history. I mean, no one's done that one time before you. No one's done it since then. And how huge of that is that for you? When you think about that, and I mean, it's big for me.
Yeah. It was great for me. But you know what it was? It was great for our team. You know, that team is special. I'm getting chills talking about it now. You know, I think that team, we had a lot of great players, but if you talk to any of us, none of us had that spirit of, it was about me. It was about that team and what we had, and we felt like the year before we left a lot of stuff on the table. Mm-hmm. So I was fortunate to be in that position. And I just really wanted to come through like my team has always came through for me. But I just want to say one thing in my credit, Wolf, if you allow me.
Sure.
If you look at that play, and I got two boys who play college football, and I always tell them, on record, Darren Studstill threw the first back shoulder fade in football history. Okay? I tell people all the time, me and Ed used to work on that because Ed used to get behind. And I threw the first black. Now they do it all the time, Wolf. I never get any credit. So I want to thank you. I threw the first back shoulder fade on national TV. If you can bring up a back shoulder fade before then, Wolf, I will buy you a beer. But until then, the back shoulder fade was not being thrown. I threw the first one, and that's my only claim of fame. Now, I did some bad plays. I did some good plays. But that's the only play that when you talk about me in the history book, I want to be known for. That I threw back shoulder fade. So, Wolf, thank you for giving me that opportunity.
You are welcome. I'm campaigning for that now. I am campaigning for that. That is beautiful. And just to think about that last year in the pregame that we did before, we actually had all you guys had to jump in a car.
Yeah.
And it looked like an episode from Seinfeld.
Yeah, that was great. That was great with Sally and.
But the breakdown was.
It was in there with Jerry. We had a great time. It was like we was on the road. We was on the road passing by Fairmont on this podcast.
All right. So listen, what's your advice then? Okay, because you didn't let it bother you about splitting time with them. But what's your advice for these young bucks? Because they're young bucks.
The young bucks is different from the young bucks of the day because back in the day we didn't have the social media, So every time you pull up your phone, people are talking. We had the newspapers back in the day. I just suggest to the young bucks just focus on your playbook. If you get the opportunity to focus on that, and then encourage and see what the other guy is doing when your opportunity, and don't make it a competition, make it an execution. I know. When Jake was out there, he wanted to execute. I was rooting for him. When I got my opportunity, I wanted to execute. I didn't worry about how much time I got. I just tried to focus on execution. So it's a great opportunity to be a quarterback in Division I. It's God is a blessing to be on that stage. Just focus on your blessing. Do the best you can with your number, and you never know. I may not. It's been some games I may play one series. But if I focus on I didn't play that much, then I would never be ready for the next opportunity. So I just tell young guys, just be focused on your opportunity, your execution when you get that opportunity, and everything will take care of itself. I think.
No, I forgot it. I did this for Mike Rollins with this question, so I'm going to go ahead, and we're thinking about Mike and his family and prayers for his family. But he wanted this: what was the difference or the same in the offense that Couch was a right-hander, but you were a left-hander? Were you right?
I just threw the ball. Sometimes I can throw it with both hands, but I was a right-hander too. But you know what Jake did for me? I'm gonna just be honest with it. Is that I had a little bit of speed back in the day, and so we was running a lot of option football. When Jake came, it kind of opened up the offense a little bit and gave me the opportunity to show that I can do some things other than, tuck the ball and run and those kind of things. And so it gave me an opportunity. It's just, and people didn't realize Jake was a better runner also than people gave him credit to too. Also, he threw the ball all over the place, and we appreciate it. But if you look back at the thing, people thought when I came in I was going to be the runner, and Jake actually made more moves running the ball than he did throwing. And the same thing with me. When I got on the field, people thought I was a runner, but I had, a high percentage of passing yards. We just really complimented each other, on that aspect, So
all you have to do is look at the first back shoulder pass ever on national TV, and you can understand that's what you did. Yeah. All right, last thing, brother, and I'm going to let you go, and I thank you for coming on the show. All right, headed to Penn State. You played there, you understand it. You got these two quarterbacks. They seem to be fairly equal, but you got a guy that's got a different skill set, a little bit older, 2 more years older, that he's been in the program. But again, fairly equal. What do you do if you want to play both? How do you go about it? Do you start the older one because it's Penn State, or do you go ahead and try to get the younger one? Well, what do you think?
I mean, me personally, I would start the older guy just because it's a lot come with that, and just the jitters and stuff like that. The younger guy is going to be, he's going to be excited just like I was. So, in that aspect, then you want his energy to come at certain parts of the game. You just got to pick your spots. But me personally, if you was asking me today who I'll pick to start, just the older guy, because at the first part of that game, you know how it is, Wolf. It's big punches are thrown. You're going to need somebody to settle not only himself but the whole team, and stuff like that. Because if the team go out there and get rattled early on and stuff like that, you know where this can go. So me personally, going in Happy Valley, knowing that what kind of crowd and hostile crowd you're going into, I think I will start the older guy because he's been around, and it's just maturity. But at the same time, I will get that energy in there at some time when you need a little spark. If it's sparky, you got to run with it for that particular period of time. That's just me. I don't know the guys at this point, but that just on that aspect, I think you should go with the older guy first to start the game.
All right, Stud, you're on the record, man. We're going to see what happens. And my point is this: hey, you know what? I think eventually talent wins out. I do think both of them have talent, but I think one has a greater quarterback talent, and I think that eventually will win. But going to Penn State, how can you can't argue with your philosophy? You just can't argue it. It's sound. You know what I mean? So good. All right, brother. Well, thanks so much. We're going to have you come back on a panel, man, and give your thoughts during the season if you're cool with it.
Okay. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, guys. Darren Studstill, man. What a dude. I'll tell you what. Appreciate it, Stud. Take care, man.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Oh, what a great Mountaineer brother. Oh, I tell you what, he's classy. He's done a lot of things. He was a really, really good quarterback. He was a teammate, and I moved over to the head and being a coach. And he always had class, and he handled that situation with class, and so did Jay Coucher. So I think that's really why it was successful. I think the two, when I say class, I'm talking about being accepting of the fact and not getting caught up. So if you want a 2-quarterback system, you're going to have to find maturity, even though Jake and Stud were mature, and Stud and Jake were mature, but then you got to have Garrett and Nicco, or Nicco and Garrett, be mature, maybe a little bit more mature than what their years are anyways for this. So again, very good stuff, man. That is huge. Let's go ahead and break down some film now. I told you, Lee Kpogba, I wanted to go ahead and jump in on that and finish off this Oklahoma State film because there's been so much going on. Conference realignment, so many great guests, just like Stud there, man. I mean, I haven't seen him since last year. Man, it's so awesome to see your brothers, man. I'll tell you what, it really is. And it's just cool. I got to get more on. I keep, we're getting a lot on, but I got to get more. I want more because there's so many. And you have to remember, I was the alumni guy for 12 years at WVU, the alumni athletics. And I had so much interaction with them. And I've been gone for a little over a year now. And that's the one part that I miss dearly, that I don't have as much daily interaction with the Mountaineer alumni. And that's in all the sports as well, because everybody wears that WVU, knows what it means to represent WVU, the state. That's right. Very cool. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's break it out. Let's take a look at this Oklahoma State offense, West Virginia defense, and we're going to check this out. Oh, excuse me there 1 second. Got to go ahead and move this over here. There we go. Get this here. Well, there you go. I look much better when I'm smaller right there. Okay, so here we go. We got a 1st and 10. This is the third quarter, starting off here. And when I see this here, I'm looking at it. And let's put it back a little bit. Started on me here. Okay. We're looking here at 1st and 10 Oklahoma State's on their own 23-yard line. All right, look at that. Looks like 10 personnel. You got 2 up top. You can't see the second receiver at the bottom, but there's 2 to the field. And first and 10, you got a quarterback, and the running back is to the boundary, so that's gun weak. Gun weak. And then you hit, it's going to be a running play. Now, they're coming right up at the middle at you. Yeah, there you go. Look at this here. How many are really in the box? When you look at this here, I see 3 defensive linemen. I see an outside, wide 9, wide 5, whatever you want to call it. Okay, you see it there. You see one linebacker, Lee Kpogba. It's right over the center. And looking at this, I see really 5 guys. Now, you're looking at the weak side linebacker, and you're looking at the spear at the bottom, or to the field here at the bottom. Okay, they're straddling almost the box because they're not sure. Do I go in and play in the box, or do I play the field and the receivers, because there's 4 wide, and they're trying to split the difference. The problem when you split the difference is you're in no man's land, and you're going to see a lot of that. Oklahoma State, they came out with Rango, the quarterback. Spencer Sanders was on the bench, shoulder injury, and he's a freshman, true freshman. And they tried to throw the ball in the first half, not having success. So what do? They went ahead and they decided to go ahead and try to run the ball more. Not to the outside as much, but right up the middle, because the box is light. I'm seeing 4 guys really in the box, 5 guys if you want to count that wide. I mean, you can see the weak side backers stacking right behind the DN, the stand-up DN. Okay, here we go. Knocking it down here. Here we go. Watch it. Now, go ahead and look at the twist. This is 1st and 10. Okay, this is what they would call a passing twist back in the day. This is when you did that in the past, when the offense would drop back and pass protection, the offensive lineman. But look what this does here, okay? The lineman goes up to Kpogba, the middle linebacker. He can't fill that. Look at the hole. When I talk about gap integrity, is that gap integrity to you? And I'm looking at you, Mountaineer Nation, because it's easy for me to get up here and say, oh, this, and that. But no, the gap integrity. That's a big hole. That's not gap integrity in line. That's where Dante was. That's not Dante's fault. That's what it was called. Because on a 1st and 10, you're going to call a 3rd down and long kind of twist. I don't like it. That's the whole new way. It's a whole new way. Because you know why? Because they're trying to penetrate and get TFLs and cause fumbles and turnovers. But meanwhile, they give up 10. Like I said about defense, Oklahoma last year, or Oklahoma State with this, okay? It's either they get you for a TFL or it's 5 or more. 5 or more. That's what I've been saying. So here you go. But what does he get? He gets 10, 11, 12, riding them up. Again, look at 5 in the box, and you can look at the arrows. I mean, I'm just pointing it out to you. And then, you go ahead and you do that. Oh, that was JJ. Excuse me, I said Dante, but that was JJ that was coming over on the twist. Dante was the other side. But look at that hole. That guard goes right up to the line. How's Lee Kpogba supposed to go and hit that 300-pound offensive lineman and shed him before his back even gets, 4 or 5 yards? Everybody else, so you're straddling. Now watch the 2 guys. So the spear and the will, all right, when you straddle, you're going in and you're tackling sideways. You're not tackling north and south. You're tackling east and west. And then you're getting, so it's not a surprise that they're going to go 4, 5, 6, maybe more yards when you drag them. Look at that. There you go. I mean, that's straight up, man. I can't show it any better than that. So either you commit or you don't. But when you play in both worlds, it's kind of tough. You're going to give up those big plays. And you're going to see here where West Virginia gets some big plays as well. It's that whole new style. I don't like it. I like gap integrity. And I like outside contain. All right, there we go. Now, are we still here? Oh, no, we got 1st and 10. Excuse me. On their 34-yard line, it's Oklahoma State's minus 34. Got good week. See, this is what I'm talking about. This young man, well, he had to not have a good game. It was cold. It was rainy. It was wet. That's why Garrett and Nicco, they played so well. I thought Nicco really played well in this game in the second half. They did win. And again, looking at this, a lot of drops. You're going to see a lot of drops here. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and switch running back to the weak side. It was just 10 personnel, 2 by 2, and you're going to get a drop there. Probably could have got 4 or 5 yards. So 2nd and 10, they're going to go do what? Go back to handing it up in the middle again. All right, so not bad here on defense. You still got this. You now have 6 offensive players in the box. I mean, you got a 1-by-1 H-back / tight end, whatever you want to call it. And so now you have 6. You have 8, including the quarterback in the box. So there's only 3 receivers at this time outside. You got 1 at the bottom, 2 up top, just by working out the numbers here. Because you got 11 personnel. So that means you only got 3 receivers. And looking at this, how many guys in the box? Still, you got 5 guys in the box now. All right, with a wide 09. Wide 9 here. Inside zone, don't know if you're going to go ahead and have a chance to get him. But nice job here. That's a nice job by Sean Martin. What does Sean Martin do? He plays the quarterback. He's slow playing to the quarterback, and then he gets the running back. Not bad here, okay? So the quarterback, good job by Rango, the quarterback. Good decision, because Sean Martin is right there. And Rango can't run for jack anyway. So regardless of, this is a nice play. This is why I like Sean Martin so much. This is his growth. He was a 4-star coming out, meaning he had talent, meaning a lot of blue blood teams offered him. So I really trusted that judgment. I know that's been a big conversation with the quarterback situation about what I think about these 4-stars. And the ones that really get a lot of offers are the ones of the blue bloods are the ones that I really trust. Okay, enough said about that. I'm not going to keep repeating it and boring you with it. All right, so that's probably a gain of 3 here. Okay, the game of gain of 4. So now you're 3rd and 6. All right, what I'm looking at here, again, is it's looking like 11 personnel. I'm not sure that's an H-back. It's empty. Here's 3rd and 6, but you got 1-by-1s on each side of the tackle. So that means that there's 2 receivers up top, 1 at the bottom. Going empty here. Oh, look at that. It's raining. Snap. Okay. We're running right through that. Again, this ends the 3rd down. So defense gets off the field. Good job. I mean, look at this. I don't know if I ever did that at center. I know I fumbled at one time in the center quarterback exchange. That wasn't very good. That was me and Greg Jones there. It wasn't stud. We won't say it. It was not stud. And then I go ahead and I look at it. So we're back to 1st and 10. Oklahoma State. This is still 3rd quarter. Oklahoma State is minus 36 right here. Maybe 37. Yeah, 37. I see 10 personnel, 2 by 2, 2 receivers up top, 2 by receivers to the bottom. I see gun strong now, because when you get that balance, he's to the field. So it's gun strong. And I'm looking at, looks like, 5 guys in the box again. Right here. So what do? They go ahead and they run up to the outside. Now, I'm going to tell you this, all right? I'm just being honest with you. Running to the outside, I'm not sure it's a great idea, because why? They do have those guys straddling out there, and they got guys out in space. I would run right down the middle, right in the center. And when they do, they usually have success, but this is a good play by the defense. So let's give the defense credit where credit is due. And Lee Kpogba. Now, my guy Lee Kpogba, I got to tell you, he had 13 tackles this game, and I thought he had 14, but Big Red, Montreal only gave him 13, and he had 13 against Oklahoma. This was really the beginning, and this was the defense. You see them playing hard. They don't always play smart, or they're not in the right defense, but they played hard, and Lee Kpogba is that leader, and that's what I'm talking about, that he's got to be that guy. And Sean Martin, too, and Sean Martin's not a big vocal guy, but he is a physical guy. And he has grown into that. He's ready to be a leader by his play. And that's okay. Not everybody's vocal. Lee Kpogba's both. And that's good for WVU. And it's going to help. And in that backfield, I'm assuming that Aubrey Burks is going to be one of the leaders as well. And he gets out there. So this is good stuff right here. I like this. I like the play. Once again, you see the defensive end is coming down, and there's Lee making the tackle. See, the problem is, though, is you saw that D end come down, and if you're going to have the middle linebacker be outside contained on both spots, it's so hard on the linebacker, so hard, because these are Division I running backs as well. They're pretty fast, and if you don't have that contained, well, it's tough. All right, But Lee gets it done here. He gets it done. Good job. Gang tackling. People are moving. It's 2nd and 7. Is this the play here? Okay. Oh, yeah. There we go. Right up the middle. What did I tell you? I say right up the middle. Right up the, why? Because it's soft up the middle. It's not soft to the outside. It takes time running east and west. You got to go straight up. Mike Gundy, where you been, man? You were the quarterback back when we both played in the Sun Bowl in 1987 together. All right, you've been one of the best coaches in the Big 12 for the last 16 years. What kind of game plan was this when you came out with a quarterback and just trying to throw the ball on a cold, wet, runny day when they're only putting up 5 in the box and you don't run? I was really surprised. Really was surprised here. So, again, let's take a look at it. Coming right up the middle. Look at this. Lee Kpogba doesn't have much of a chance. You see X-ray over the top here. It's 5-on-5 linemen, and you still have an extra running back, and you have only 5 there. And the others, what are they doing? They're playing lateral. So when you go lateral, once again, what happens? The running back is going north and south. So when you catch someone, you drag it. You kind of get dragged. So you're not going to stop anyone and say, you hit them at 4 yards, north and south. They drop. That's 4 yards. Now you're hitting them at 4 yards, east and west. Guess what? There's another 1, 2, or 3 more yards going just by the fact you're going east and west while they're going north and south. It's physics, right? Okay. Keep going here. This is good. 5 in the box. You can see it. Watch the offensive lineman. Watch here. Look at this. Lee Kpogba. I mean, if you're blocking the defensive lineman with one guy, if it only takes one guy to block your defensive lineman, the defensive lineman's not doing a good enough job. Darius Stills. Darius, not Dante. Darius Stills. And sometimes he got double teamed, sometimes he got triple teamed in the middle because he was such a disruptive force that they couldn't block him with one. Dante, most of the time, couldn't block him with one. So they had to go ahead and double up here. But you see here, these guys are getting blocked by one lineman. And so the numbers are good for Oklahoma State. So that's why they go ahead. Look at here with the will coming over, or the spear coming over the top. He's not going to hit him till 4 yards. I'm not lying when I say this. This is just a straight down truth. Look at this. And then you get the offensive lineman in there running. I mean, look at the yardage, man. I don't like this kind of no gap integrity. It's 3rd and 1. Okay. 3rd and 1. Let's see what happens here. What are you seeing here in the box? Again, you're coming with a really wide outside 5. You have a tighter 5 to the bottom of the screen, and let's take a look at what they do here. 3rd and 1, jump off sides, number 1, but take a look at this. Okay, see this right on through. Tackling. Did you see any arm? Maybe I see arms right here tackling, and that's what. So when Neil Brown is in his press conference right now in the last couple of days, he goes, "We're going to be more physical. We're going to hit." Fundamentally, we're going to tackle more in practice as much as you can. I'm encouraged by that because obviously they didn't do it last year. So I'm encouraged by the fact that they're tackling now in camp because this is a result of not practicing on Tuesday and hoping that you can play on Saturday with tackling when you don't practice on Tuesday. When you don't go live and you don't go to the ground. All right, Thud doesn't get it. Again, let's watch it, okay? I'm telling you, this is exactly what they need to do, and it sounds to me like Neil Brown's addressing it. Look, they got 5 in the box. There, you see Lee Kpogba goes and he's on playing a game right there. But again, who's blocking? They're being blocked by what? This right here, by individuals, and he's dragging them. Okay, so there's a tackle. Missed tackle by X-ray right there. I don't see any wrap in here. All right, good enough. Again, that's what I want to see the improvement on. I think I've said it. And I'll look here. If you look here at Lockhart 93, well, just watch. We need better effort out of this. And he's one of the things. I think he's in better shape this year. I think shape had a lot to do with it last year. And I wanted to really see. He was a guy that got 15, 20 reps per game. He's got to get 50 to 60 reps now per game. And he better be in better shape because not being in shape, the effort there is just, it's not good enough. Not good enough. And you can see the result. That was 3rd and 1. And that's your middle. If you're giving up 3rd and 1 on your middle, fundamentally unsound. Again, that's what it is. Watch right here. Okay? Watch the attack. This is 3rd and 1. He's standing straight up. Fundamentally unsound. Look at Kpogba. Kpogba's going hard. He's going hard tonight. He wants to get him before they get the one. I don't see hard here on anybody else. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't see hard. I see this here. He's shielded blocking him. Standing straight up and shield. That's 3rd and 1. And you got to get leverage. You got to get your can up. You got to go out this way. You don't go out this way. That's like on 3rd and 1 for offense. You don't stand up and block. You got to come out and shoot out that way. 45-degree angle, man. Get that can up. That's your strength. That's your power base, man. He just stood up. He's going to be better. He's going to be better. But that's what I want to see. That's only 15, 20 reps. What are you going to do when you got 60? What are you going to do then? We need you, big dog. Be in shape. Play fundamentally sound. Play 45-degree angle, right? 1st and 10 now. Now you're on what? You're on the plus 31-yard line because you're on West Virginia's side. 1st and 10 plus 31. Here we go. What do you got? You still got 5. Look at out here. You got 10 personnel, 5 offensive linemen, you got 4 wide receivers. You know, with a 1 running back in there and 2 wide receivers up top and the other guys are on the pitch, you know there's 2 receivers to the bottom. This is a TV shot right here. I can't help it. That's the best I could get out of it. So, again, it's 1st and 10. What's going to happen? You have 5 in the box. Well, what? There's nobody there. There's nobody past the line of scrimmage there. And then he makes a nice move and jump and he gets 10 yards. You see what I'm talking about? These defenses, they're fundamentally not sound. Okay? I don't like it. And I'm going to tell you when I don't like something, and I'm going to tell you what I do. And it's the truth to me. But if you call that fundamentally sound, then I want you to show me how. I want you to come here on the show and break it down where the fundamentals are there. Because I don't see it. And that makes me mad. And it's not just in West Virginia. I'm seeing it all over college football. There you go. You got, right there, you got 5 in the box. Look at 1 offensive lineman blocking. Again, look at here, 93. How many guys are blocking? He's the nose guard. You got to have 2 guys on the nose guard. All right, I'm done. Five wide. Give me something. 1st and 10. You're only on West Virginia's 31-yard line. You might already be in field goal range. Maybe that day, 48-yarder, maybe that wasn't in field goal range, but you're on the 31. Now you're on right there, 21. All right. Again, get your head up. He's not even here anymore, but that's a good move. But again, blocking or tackling, I just got really upset. It's just really watching that. It's going to be different. They got fundamentals. They're going to be improved this year. But again, that can't happen. There you go. Now you got 5 inside the box, right? So you have 10 personnel. You got 1 running back. You got 4 wide, 2 at the bottom, 2 up top. Then you're on the 21-yard line. You got 5 in the box here. So you still really outnumber the box. You outnumber the box. You outnumber the box. The offense outnumbers it. 7 offensive players, even though Rango can't really run. But 7 offensive players to 5 defensive players in the box. That's what I'm talking about. This is a nice job. This is where you get a special player like Lee Kpogba. Okay. All reality is Oklahoma State should have gotten this on the short yardage down. But because Lee Kpogba is a player and a dude, he can make up some deficiencies. You can't do it all the time. You can't do it when a 300-pound lineman comes straight out and runs straight at you, and then you meet him 3 yards down. Sometimes you can't. That's hard for Lee Kpogba. You got to help the guy out a little bit. You got to have a defensive lineman to either knock or shed or take up some of the offensive linemen. I could still come out to this day and run straight into Lee Kpogba and still be an obstacle. Now, he'd be able to shed me and throw my old can around no matter what. All right, he would jack me up, but I would still be a delay because I'm just there. When you have an offensive lineman just have a free shot, you're just there. We're talking about a 300-pound young bucks, man, that are coming out that are hogs for a reason and tough. All right, but this is an awesome play here by Lee Kpogba. Again, you have 5 in the box. You have 3 defensive linemen. Okay. Now, what are you trying to do? They're playing Steeler, what they call Steeler. Remember the Pittsburgh Steelers? They had that defense, and they had the 2 DTs were either head up on the tackles, and they would squeeze. So again, what has been happening? They've been going ahead and beating the West Virginia inside. When you saw with that 4-man line, a wide 9, which doesn't have any effect on an inside zone play, a wide 9, and 1 linebacker. Now they've gone here to Steeler, where they're supposed to take it and squeeze. Now, JJ here, he's got to take up 2 offensive linemen to take him, and you have 2 linebackers in here. So, again, this is called Steeler. What's what we used to call Steeler? That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers call Steeler. We got this from the Steelers. So here you go. Do you see this here? You see Sean Martin going through the B gap there on the inside of the tackle. All right, you see that there, and you can see now, what does he do? He takes it up, and you have a linebacker. You don't have just one linebacker, so there's not a free shot out to Lee Kpogba here. So he can go ahead and be there, contain, and stop him. Man, okay, that's a good play there. I like, hey, Sean Martin, there you go. Take him on up. No free shots. You took that tackle. Okay, he's free. Now your linebacker's free. See, it's really easy when you break it down like that, right? It's really easy when you talk numbers, and it's simple. It's under 10. I mean, you can do it on your fingers, right? Do it on your fingers. Okay. So, again, here we go. Watching this here. Oh, I'm going to give you one more shot. Just because Lee Kpogba really is a dude. Again, look at this slant right there. He's covering the edge. Lee Kpogba's in position for that contain now. He's in position. That's good. All right, I understand. That's cool. Very good. All right. Can you tell I'm a big Lee Kpogba fan? He's a tough physical dude, man. He plays hard. I like it. So now you're here. All right, now I'm going to tell you this, okay? I'm not going to make it as dramatic. But do you see this here? Oklahoma State barely gets this first down. There must be 4 or 5, maybe 6 inches there between the yellow line and the football. The football nose is ahead of that black line, okay? And they're going to go ahead. They're going to continue with this 10 personnel. Let's see how the defense lines up on this, okay? They're going Steeler here. Oh, no, wait. Okay, there you go. All right, they brought down the guy 4th. He's rushing here. But when you see this, why do you not get underneath the center and fall forward, quarterback? Why do you not get up there and give the ball underneath from the quarterback, center quarterback exchange and do a quick hitter? Why would you need 4 inches? Do you go in the gun and do? Now they get the first down. They do. But I mean, these coordinators are making $800,000, $700,000 to do this. Really? I mean, fundamentals like, is this all show or what? Why go from the gun when you got 4 inches to go ahead on the football field? 5 inches on the football field. But you go ahead and they barely get the first down. Barely get it. I mean, look at the ball. And you're going to go back 5 yards so that you can have the play develop so that you can get defensive linemen. Do you see the penetration here by Sean Martin? See the penetration right there is if you're a quarterback and you're going to sneak, you don't worry about that outside dude. He doesn't come into the play. If you did a fullback draw or a belly, if you did a trap belly, whatever, that's not going to apply. But what happens? He gets in there, causes the rerouting of the running back. TFL or 5 or more. So that's the whole thing. TFL or 5 or more. One or the other happens. Just like I say again, example, Oklahoma last year, top 10, number 11 in the country in tackles for loss, number 115 in yards given up. Hear me again. Oklahoma, number 11 in tackles for loss for TFLs, number 1, what did I say, 115? I can't remember, 13, 115 in total running yards, rushing yards given up. Tackle for loss or 5 or more. All right, keep on moving here. Keep on moving. I missed the button. All right, good job, Sean Martin. And, there's Lee Kpogba. There's Lee Kpogba. 13 tackles, man. There you go. When you give him a chance, you don't just give a free offensive lineman room. He's going to make some plays, and he can run east to west too. He's a stud. All right, 1st and 10, and you see here they're playing Steeler defense again with the head up on the fours, the head up on tackles, and then you see the 2 linebackers. So what happens? Now they're going to go play action pass, and he's going to take the shot in there. Okay. Malachi. All right, Malachi. He had a big mistake early in the first half. He comes back in the second half. He played it tight. I like this coverage here. This is a good job right here. Impressive. And he came back and he didn't let his head because it was a silly mistake. But he came back and he kept his head in the game. So that is good news right there. And let's watch it again. There you go. Play action pass. They've been running. He hits the inside. It's a skitty post, really. And you see it here. Look at the play. Good, man. You got to dig that, right? Okay. All right, so here we go. Check this out. 2nd and 10. And I want to go back here. So, but what do they do? Now, Mike Gundy, you've been doing this since you were a quarterback at Oklahoma State, 1987, when we played the Sun Bowl. I just mentioned that, right? Why are you going east and west when you've been rushing for 5 or more up the middle? Okay, that's what I'm just saying is, why are you doing this, right? Because everybody's been splitting, so they have 5 in the box. Interesting, right? Real easy to be an armchair quarterback here, but look they're all strapping. You got the safeties here, they're on the hash. There's 5 in the box, 5. And what do? They want to go. That means that there's guys outside the box. There's more. There's 6. There's 6 outside the box. And you want to go ahead and get your numbers. It's okay. There you go. He slips, and then I have Y. I don't know why. I want to go up the middle. But again, there you have it. Offensive lineman right up to the top on the linebacker. I don't like that either. All right. 3rd and 10. Now, what are you looking at here? You got a tight end here and a 1-by-1 off the right tackle's hip, and you obviously have one receiver up top because you got 2 here at the bottom. 3rd and 10. Going here. Oh, look at that. Thank goodness Spencer Sanders was not playing. Leave it at that because he was wide open there for the first down, but he didn't do it, so stop it. Rushing 3 here in defensive line. I don't like it, but that's okay. That's what they did. They've actually been a little bit more effective than normal rushing 3. Good job there by Sean Martin, putting pressure on there. Bad throw by Rangel. It was cold. It was wet. Now, if you go ahead and you see here, you see the 3 defensive linemen right here. Where's the hole? What happens if that was Spencer Sanders? What would Spencer Sanders do? Well, actually, he would throw the ball because the receiver was wide open. But if he had to run, when he rushed 3, man, it gets wacky. With at least 4, you try to cover the escape lanes for the quarterback. And to rush 3, but then again, Rangel's no threat, so not so bad. Okay, that's it. They get out of here. They get a field goal with this. And let's see here. So the score is 21-10. WVU is up. Now it's 21-13. Okay. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. We're rolling. We better hope we're rolling. There you go. Okay, 1st and 10. 2:43, 3rd quarter, 21-13. They're at the plus side of the field. So now they're 49.5-yard line. And you have up top, you got 10 personnel again. Okay. There you go. He's got to go pass. We've got 6-man protection. I call that scat protection and put the running back in there as well. Thought Rangel here. Again, he's a young quarterback. He was trying to run. I didn't think he had a need for the pressure, but, he runs. He's got to get a yard. So you're rushing 3. Right there. You got 6 guys against 3, and he feels there's a need to run. And Sean Martin, again, he's going to be good. I like that young man. He does not want to talk too much, man, but he's mean on the field. And by the way, his grandfather says he talks a lot when he knows you a lot better. So again, you got 10 personnel here. It's gun week. 2 receivers up top, 2 to the bottom. 2nd and 10. Or is this the same play? I can't remember what I just did. Same play. Scat protection. That means the running back's in. So that means it's 6-man protection against 3. And Sean's the one that actually disrupted that. So win for WVU. Right there. 2nd and 9. You have empty stats. So it looks to me like there's 3 up top. I can see the feet there. Again, this is the TV copy. And then you got 2 here at the bottom. And it's empty. You're rushing 3. So now you got 5 on 3. And it goes up. So that right there is open. So you dropped 8. Okay. Castillo did it all the time as defensive coordinator. It's nothing really unusual. I just don't like it. I like 4. I know that the year we ran this with the 3 and dropping 8 or rushing 4, we had a better percentage of getting off the field on 3rd downs. That's a fact. At WVU, I was there. I was coaching. I know. In fact, I ran that. There you go. Same play. Very, very nice. 3rd and 4. What do you got? You got 10. All right. So you got 10 protection, or you have 10 personnel, and it's right in the middle of the field. So you pick or choose if you want to call it weak or strong. Okay, 3rd and 4. What are you rushing? You're bringing 3. Oh, okay. There you go. 3rd and 4. You have 5 there. 3rd and 4. What do you have there? You have, wait, is that 4 in the box? No, 5 in the box. Excuse me. All right, I see 5. You have 5 in the box. Playing Steeler again. All right, so they're trying to take away the inside. But if they're trying to take away the inside, why is he lined up over the other side of the center? And look at this guard here. This guard has a freebie. Free. What are you going to do? Blame X-ray for that? It's just a free shot. I blame the scheme for that. All right? Linebackers are not supposed to be able to have free, or offensive linemen have free releases of linebackers all the time. You're supposed to squeeze. If you're playing Steeler, the whole idea is to take those defensive linemen and squeeze them down so that they just clog up. Because what Steeler's for is taking away the middle, all right? Taking away that inside zone. That's why you run Steeler. So these linemen should be squeezing together to make it fill up the middle. But all I see, instead of squeezing down here, what do I see? All right, I see up top, I see Dante might be head up forward right here. I see a 0. So I'm seeing a 0. I see a big bubble. You see the bubble between the linebacker right there and Dante and then JJ, Jordan Jefferson. Do you see that bubble? It's a little triangle, right? Well, that guard is going to go ahead, and what's he going to do? He's going to go right up to the back, to the backer. This is 3rd and 4, but you only got 5 in the box, and you have 6 and 7 with the quarterback number-wise. 6. Let's just say Rango can't run, so forget him. Take him right out. You still have 6 on 5, meaning that the running back is an added person in the box. You still have 6 on 5. There you go. Running good, solid. Nice and solid. All right, 1st and 10. Look at this. Oh, this is Mike Gundy to a T. This is a trick play. Do you see them all looking over? So you got to pay attention all the time now, right? We'll go ahead. They run it. They take a shot. Got a little bit caught. You got to cut off bounds. Watch. They're all looking to the sideline that they're trying to get the play, right? They're all looking. It's a trick play. Look at everybody here in the WVU. They're looking around. They're not sure. Look at the snap. Snaps it. Oh, look. I see heads turn towards the sideline. Look at X-ray low. There's 6. He's walking towards the sideline. You got to be ready to go, especially at Oklahoma State, a Big 12 team. They like their trick plays. Oh, there they go. Pass interference. Yep. All right. Yep. I think I made that point. Oh, that one never done. Okay, 1st and 10 now you're on the plus 23-yard line. This is the last series, by the way. So you see Wrigley's going to throw the ball. Not a bad play here. Andrew Wilson-Lamp. I don't know if he can go ahead and get this, but now they're rushing 4 guys. Okay, not putting any pressure on him, but okay. That was probably Brandon's best thrown ball of the day, but I see Lamp getting in there. And you know what? They just had an interference call. So if he did get up there a little bit earlier, that's all right because you know what? They're not going to call 2 in a row usually. So actually, not a bad decision. If you're going to interfere, make sure it's like after the one that just happened. Chances are it's better. 2nd and 10. There's 31 seconds left in the third quarter. There we go. You got 10 personnel. It's a gun week. 10 personnel, gun week. Doubles, gun week. Doubles, gun week. There you go. Running back's in there. Okay. He hesitates. He waits. Well, there's that tackling or lack of. There you go. There you go. There you go. Let's line up. How many got in the box? How many got in the box? Well, it looks to me like you're kind of bringing people in the box here. So, you know, you're bringing guys down the line of scrimmage. He's more in the box, but he's still not over. If you look at X-ray up top, Copa's still over the center, but X-ray's kind of a wide or maybe a tight 5 over the tackle. So he's not normal will side there. He's not in the normal spot. He is shifted, but again, there you go. What happens here in the defensive line? They're playing it straight up. Dante actually puts a little pressure in there. They lose their gap integrity. Dante's at a different level than every other white defender there on the defensive line. Look at that. Do you see that? This here creates holes. This here creates gap integrity. And that's what happens when you want to teach penetration. Now, you look up here for this defender, and he's playing the quarterback. Well, this guy here, top, you see here, is not got outside contain because 44 has the quarterback. Somebody here has to have that contain. Well, they don't, and he hesitates the running back. He waits for the hole. Dante crashes down. He's trying to get a TFL. That's what he's taught to do. And that opens up. Now, this is the problem right here. You got to bring him down. You are now on the 12-yard line or trying to tackle that Oklahoma State guy. And there you have it. Yeah. Yep. Okay, again, look at Dante. He's killing that offensive lineman, right? Putting him out of the way, but there's a hole there now, and they don't cover it up. And hard running there. 3 defenders take each other out. Just poor tackling. Not great execution all around. And you get a touchdown from that. So that's the last play. Oh, there's one more. This is a 2-point conversion. And you can see here, Rangel, he does a nice job here. Does a nice job picking him up. This running back has no shot because he covers them like a blanket. And it would be a wet blanket because it is cold and wet out here at this time. And nice job there. And I believe, one more. Just take one more look. Nice job. Penetrate. Look at Sean. I'll tell you, Sean Martin, 91. Defensive end for the Mountaineers. I can't wait to watch him play. I tell you, he's going to be really, really, really good. Excellent. Okay. What do we have here? Does anybody want any conversations? That's it for that. Let's go ahead and jump on. I'll get this off here. What do we have? Anybody here? Hello and welcome. No, I don't see anything. Hello. Anybody want to jump on? I don't see it. All right. Well, we're about over, man. I'll tell you what, we just keep pounding away, man. That's good stuff. We got one more quarter to go, Oklahoma State, and then I'm going to let that go. But we have other film we got to break down. I want to show you some specific stuff. I have an excellent tape that I'm breaking down right now, 0 coverage. That means you're bringing the house, and it's fun to watch. And I think you're going to see a lot of that man-free, maybe, which is bringing 5, instead of bringing 6 or 7, like cover 0, that's cover 1, man-free's cover 1. You see, I think you're going to see a lot of that against either Garrett or Nicco because they're young, at least in experienced time. And Manny Diaz, Penn State guy, is going to want to put the pressure on the Mountaineers in the passing situations, especially on, obvious passing downs. All right. And I want to thank our WolfMan's Call Network. That's all the guys. A big shout out, man. I'll tell you what, there's so many. We got 16 now. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and see if we can't go ahead and put this up here. And I don't know if I can remember all of them. So instead of causing a problem, I'm going to put this up. Get this up here. There we go. First off, First off, let's go ahead and welcome Calacino's Pizzeria and Sports Bar in Beckley, West Virginia. We have the Pitch Sports Bar and Grille in Dunbar. And then down there in Princeton, West Virginia, we got Danny. Say hello to Paige. Jeff Wixer, Calacino's. And, what else we got here? I think we're going to get one more pitch. I think so. I'm not sure. Probably should keep my mouth shut there and wait for that to happen. Then we're going to go ahead and jump here. All right. To what I love, the Wolfman's Call. Archies, Pittsburgh, East Carson Street. Yeah, I love the wings, man. Route 22 Sports Bar up there in Weirton, West Virginia. Yeah, just said Calacino's there in Beckley. Cantrell's, River City Grill and Pub down there in Hinton, West Virginia. Man, it's right on the river. It's really, really beautiful. Excellent food. And then we go up there, you can see Legends there, Legends Sports Bar and Grill. That's at Cheat Lake out there in Lakeview, Aaron Gizzy. Yeah, man. Totally dig it. You see Danny's there in Princeton, Paige. Shout out, what's up, Paige? I appreciate you. And then we have WVU Royalty there at Kegler's in Morgantown. And then we have Steve Reese coming with the Mason Jar Saloon and Hotspot in Morgantown. Right down the road in Fairmont is the Mason Jar Barbecue and more. Woo! I'm telling you, man, you got to hit one of those places. And then you have Jimbo's place there in Elkins. Absolutely fantastic. So fantastic, he had to open up another one in Buckhannon. Hey, what's up, Jimmy Pointer, right? All right. And then we have the Pallet in Teays Valley, Scott Depot. We've got special news coming up about the Pallet Bar. And what's up, say, tip your servers there. You got Haley, you got everybody. I'm trying to remember names. I forgot. I'm going to just go ahead and skip it. You got the Tap House in Morgantown. Mel, Melissa, take care of her. Take care of it. She's going nuts right now with all of those students. What's up, Mel? We got Brickside Bar and Grille down in Bridgeport. Eat local. That's Rob Davis. Good dude, man. Good dude. What's up, Robbie? And then, of course, you got the Pitch in Dunbar I talked about. So I think I nailed them all. That's it. Wolfman's Call Network. We're going to have a special announcement. We have something really, really cool that's coming, man. And I'm fired up, and I can't wait to go ahead and talk about it and let you know. I think tomorrow, Thursday at the latest. Got a lot going on. Got more things to break down on film. Football is just right around the corner. And again, if you're here, I really want you to go ahead and join the conversation, Mountaineer Nation. I want you to come up and talk. I want you to be able to talk about Garrett and Nicco, or Nicco Garrett. What's your thought? It's okay. They're both Mountaineers, man. And whatever your thoughts are, you know my thoughts. I've already told you. Because the Wolfman's Call, the truth is always a part of the call. All right, well, I don't see anybody here trying to go ahead and get back on. So let's go ahead and end this for the day. I appreciate everybody so much. I appreciate Mark Rogers for coming on the show. And for Darren Studstill, still looks good, man. Still looks like he could play. Still looks like he could go ahead and run that ball as well as throw it. Very cool. All right, everybody. God bless you, man. Take care. Hey, we are West Virginia, baby. Ha! Take that, Nittany Lions, because we're coming after you. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Traylon Davis. I'm from Jackson, Ohio, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Northern Eagle Distributing, proudly serving Anheuser-Busch products to West Virginia. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia, always in stock. All many, the anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy, stay charged. Go green, savory. Feel the power of paw. Order now at pawmini.com.